Welcome to this report commentary of Q3 2023 with medtech company 2CureX. Representing the company today is Chairman of the Board, Mr. Tonni Bülow-Nielsen, and CEO Fernando Andreu. Tonni, you are since a week back the new Chairman of the Board. Can you please give us a short introduction to yourself?
Thank you, Matthias, and good morning. Yes, absolutely, I would love to do that. My name is Tonni Bülow-Nielsen. I'm based in Copenhagen. I'm 64 years old, and I've been the chairman a little more than a week from November 14th, 2023. Just to give you some perspective on my career, I have been involved in medtech and life science all my professional career, from education until today. And the last 20 years, I spent mainly as an active board member in life science and medtech companies, with investments, with transactions, and with especially value creation when it comes to commercial scaling for the benefit of the shareholders. Past to that, I've spent the rest of my career around the globe. I was 7 years in USA for St. Jude Medical and for Sanofi's MedTech division, where I was Senior Vice President and running US, Canada, and South America. At my time in St. Jude, I was running Japan for 2.5 years, and I've been European director also based in Brussels, doing business in Scandinavia. So I have a very good global perspective when it comes to scaling up business successfully on a global scale.
Yeah, that's really a full history there. And what brings you to CureX?
It's always an interesting and a challenging assignment when somebody asks you to look into a chairmanship of the board. I spent quite some time with the founders and the executive team and the board to look deep into CureX and the technology that is based on 15 years of research, which is amazing. And the preparation for the last 2 or 3 years on really getting up on a commercial scale. This is exactly where I'm spending most of my living days and really focusing on assisting the team to get on a successful trajectory on the commercial scaling.
Thank you. And if I turn to Fernando, you make a lot of emphasis on in the Q3 report on the Zenith project. Could you please tell us a bit about that?
Absolutely. So the goal of the Zenith project is to bring the testing of IndiTreat to hospitals. We have found out that this is the key success factor for global scaling up and for really speeding up the uptake in clinical routine. Therefore, our goal is that by mid-2025, the hospitals are able to run IndiTreat tests in their own premises. Now, what this means, this is a project that has multiple tracks because everybody is thinking of the automation and therefore everybody is thinking of the instrument. And yes, this is one track. We need to finalize the development and CE marking of an instrument that will go into the hospitals. But that's just one piece of the whole project. We are developing and need to CE mark 7 different products in terms of the consumables, reagents, etc., that goes together with the instrument. We have to finalize the development and CE marking of 3 software products that are going to govern the whole thing. And then we are also developing this an additional component, which is a drug cartridge that will go out together to hospitals. So all this product development, CE marking is happening all at the same time, and it's in parallel. And it is building, of course, this is not something that we are starting now. This is building on the different things that our audience and our shareholders already know, the instrument prototypes that we already have, the consumables prototypes that we already have, etc. And then there is also a parallel track, which is preparing for the launch. I mean, the moment we have this ready at the end of or in the first half of 2025, we want to have a fast rollout. Therefore, this means that we need to continue what we have been doing in the last couple of years, which is building these relationships, building this awareness and trust in IndiTreat, so that when we have the system ready, the launch and the rollout is really speedy. and successful.
Thank you. With this, are you abandoning the current centralized testing out of your own labs?
That's a very good question we get very often. So no, we are not. First, the central lab is going to continue to play an important role in our operations. First, until half of 2025, when we have the system, we will continue, obviously, to offer our test as we are offering with the current model. We will continue to offer the IGNITE program. We need to get oncologists around Europe used to the test, used to using the test in their clinical routine and decision making. So that's one part of it. But then also, even after launch, we have to think that not every hospital is going to be suitable for such a system as we are developing now. So this system is suitable for mid to large hospitals, but then there will still be the small hospitals who cannot afford to have a system by themselves. They don't have enough samples per year, but they still want to use IndiTreat. So we will continue to offer through our central lab the services to the smaller segment. And also the lab plays an important role in our product development. So when we launch new products like the pancreatic or ovarian tests, for example, these tests will be first available in the central lab and then transitioned to the decentralized system. So there is going to be a role for the central lab in Copenhagen going forward.
Okay, and so with the Zenith project, will the clients buy the equipment or are they renting it?
There are multiple models, Matthias, and here this depends very much on countries. So there are countries where the standard is that hospitals buy the instruments and then buy the reagents and consumables at a certain price. There are countries where the standard is what is called the reagent rental deal, which means that the hospital gets the system and then they buy instruments, also they buy reagents and consumables at the price that covers also the depreciation of the instrument and the service of the instrument. So there are multiple models here. And what's important to emphasize, because we have also said that in the Q report, is that we are looking at partnering with some industry players in order to make this rollout. So people should not think that the full rollout is going to go all being 2cureX by ourselves. That's not the current plan.
Thank you. And if I turn to Tonni again, as the new chairman, what is your opinion on the Zenith project?
Well, I think there was a reason why I was asked to take the chairmanship of 2cureX, because we're really getting into a commercial scale now. I think it opens up opportunities on three different angles. First of all, as Fernando said, I think that the whole partnership model, where we find a true partner to help us on scaling this up on a global scale, initially in Europe and then later on a global scale, is a key for the scale-up success. Then it also makes an opportunity for 2cureX to turn into a much more product-oriented company rather than a research-based company, which is also critical for the success of 2cureX. And finally, I think it is really a component that allows us to scale up European-wise and commercially, and that is critical for both the short and the long future of 2cureX.
Thank you. And Fernando, beyond these important developments, what else have happened in the third quarter?
Well, in the third quarter, we continued our commercial activities and the business development activities. We have added 46 hospitals to our commercial pipeline. If you remember from previous quarterly reports, the pipeline is all the conversations and discussions that we are having with hospitals across Europe in different degrees of maturity, from let's say initial discussions all the way to the hospital sending samples. We have, as of now, 247 hospitals in our pipeline. This means 247 active discussions in different degrees of maturity. And in the third quarter, we added 46, which is by far the largest we have in a single quarter. We had 26 hospitals added in Q1, 27 hospitals added in Q2. Obviously, these 46 hospitals, this is also the effect of the ESMO GI conference that took place in July, where obviously a lot of leads came up. So the pipeline is a very important thing for us. I mean, on this pipeline, we are going to build the launch and rollout of the Zenith system, the automated system, when it is ready. So it is really important that we keep growing and nurturing this pipeline. On the other side, we have also received samples for testing. We have received 36 samples in Q3, so for the total for the year is 100 samples. This is far from what we wanted, but this is also due to our original goal included that we would have some samples coming from clinical trials, and then because of cost containment measures, we have delayed the start of these studies. Therefore, those samples didn't come. 100 samples is a good experience, is a good routine experience for us and for the customers, but obviously it's not where we wanted it to be. And then in terms of geographic expansion, we also have to say that because of this new approach that we are taking now, where we are emphasizing the Zenith project, we think that the commercial rollout in additional countries is not going to bring a lot of value. Therefore, we are putting a pause on the geographic development for the time being. In terms of revenue, we generated revenue of 950,000 SEK. 13% of this came from commercial sales, and the rest came from grants and other sources. In total, accumulated for the year, we have 2.4 million SEK, and this is approximately 35% less than the original plan. At the end of the year, we expect that we are going to be around 3 million SEK in revenue, and approximately between 7 and 10% coming from commercial sales. So again, these numbers of sales are less than what we expected, especially the commercial sales. But this is exactly why we are now going to put all the focus in speeding up the decentralization.
Thank you. And how does your cash position look like, cost containment?
Yeah, so our cash position at the end of Q3 is that we have 18.1 million SEK. Our runway extends until Q2 2024, as it is now. And we have announced also that we are going to concentrate most of our effort and resources in this Zenith project. Therefore, we have reduced our burn rate not related to the Zenith project. We have reduced it by approximately 30%. With this, we ensure that we can make the most efficient use of the resources that we have.
Thank you. And Tonni, if I turn to you again, do you have any final remarks?
I can just say I'm quite excited about the opportunity of bringing 2cureX into a commercial scale up. This is what I've done for 20 years for other companies. I'm right now on the board of 7 other life science medtech companies here. This is what I'm used to do, and I look forward to work with Fernando and his team and the rest of the board of directors to both on a strategic level, but certainly also on an operational level to make this happen. So I think for the benefit of us all, and especially our shareholders, I really look forward for the challenge.
And one last question to Fernando. What would be your 2 top priorities in the near future?
Well, obviously, this Zenith project is now focusing all the attention of the team. So for me, the priorities are to ensure that we are executing on the different project tracks as efficiently as possible, that we don't miss any deadlines. And also keeping the spirit of the team is very high. Everybody is very energized with this new with this acceleration of the decentralized approach. And I mean, if we keep that spirit as high as it is today, then this is going to be very successful. So we are really looking forward to what's happening in 2024.
Tonni and Fernando, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck going forward.
Thanks, Matthias.
Thank you, Matthias. Thank you.